Jasmine Dodd. At shortstop, number 24, Kendall Hernandez. At third base, number 2, Brecklin.
Hello again, everybody.
At second base, number 10,
From Schwab Field in Bullard, this is Dr. Charles Johnson here with the broadcast of the softball game between the Butler Community College Grizzlies from El Dorado, Kansas, against the Tyler Junior College Apache Ladies. We're about to get started here. Dakota Stoughton will be on the mound for the Apaches. She's been warming up, and we're about to get this game underway.
Number 3, Maddie Young.
We'll give you the lineups as quickly as we can. We're about to get going here, and for the Grizzlies, the shortstop Maddie Young is in the box and ready to go, and Dakota Stoughton is ready with the first pitch. It's a strike right down the middle, and we're off and running here. This is the second game for the Apaches. Next pitch is just a little bit outside, and the count evens at 1-1. Stoughton throws outside ball 2. Dakota Stoughton is a sophomore, Bennett, Colorado. We'll give you the defense here in just a moment. Pitch is on the outside corner. Fouled off. So Maddie Young stays alive. Maddie Young is a freshman from Derby High School in Derby, Kansas. 2-2. First batter of the game. Fouled again.
Big playoff game in Wagstaff tonight. Kilgore, Quinlan Ford. Quinlan Ford.
Is that regionals already started?
There's a ground ball to third. Brecklin Dennis picks it up and fires to Bailey Krolchek at first for the first out.
Now batting with 1 out. Number
1
6,
down in the first.
Adler.
And Emily Adler, the second baseman for the Grizzlies, steps in. Emily is also from Derby, Kansas. She's a freshman.
Good, great fast delay.
Fouls it off, and Dakota Stoughton gets ahead 0-2. Around the infield, it's Krolchek at first, Sloan Johnson's at second, Kendall Hernandez is the shortstop, Brecklin Dennis is at third, Jasmine Dodd's out in left, Tangela Smith is in center, and Maddie Hale is the right fielder. 0-2 to Adler. And the pitch. She swings and she misses. Strike 3.
Now batting with 2 outs. Number 14, Hannah Knox.
That'll bring up Hannah Knox.
Why would they not need Knox?
Hannah Knox. And Hannah Knox hails from Lindale, Texas. So she's playing very close to her home this evening. Strike. Curveball. 2 down here in the first. Hannah Knox, the designated player, batting for the Grizzlies from Butler. Up a little bit, 1-1. We've got the lights on now here at Schwab Field. Cool but pleasant temperatures outside. Dakota Stoughton pitches a little bit outside. There's 2 down here. We're in the first, just getting started. Butler defeated Indian Hills 9-1 a little earlier this afternoon, so they're coming off a win. Swings and misses. Evens the count at 2-2.
She got the money's worth out of that.
And Knox fouls it down the third baseline, and the count remains at 2-2. Talia Talley, the left fielder, is on deck for the Grizzlies, but they're 2 down. Strike 3 called. Great pitch by Dakota Stoughton. It looked like it was going to be inside, but broke over the plate. And Hannah Knox goes down. It's a strikeout. And that's your first half of the first inning. 1-2-3 for the Grizzlies. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. And at the end of 1/2 inning, it's the Grizzlies of Butler 0 and the Tyler Junior College Apaches coming to bat. We're back at Schwab Field. This is Dr. Charles Johnson bringing you the broadcast of the Butler Community College Grizzlies versus the Tyler Junior College Apaches. We go to the bottom of the first inning, and the leadoff hitter for the Apaches, number 7, Jasmine Dodd, the sophomore left fielder from Bentonville, Arkansas, will be in there to lead off. Kelsey Kepps, a freshman from Rossville, Kansas, is in the circle for the Grizzlies, and she delivers. It's a strike down the heart of the plate. Coach Eric Henderson is coaching at third, and assistant coach Courtney Campbell has the duties at first. Next pitch, foul back, and Jasmine Dodd's behind in the count, 0-2. We're in the bottom of the first. The Grizzlies didn't score in the first half of the first. There's a line drive down the left field line, but curves foul, and the count remains at 0-2. Kipps looks in for the sign. She delivers. Down in the dirt, 1-2. I'm Peach hitting this evening for Dr. John Groth, who is the voice of Apache baseball and softball, who's on assignment this evening. And we're glad to have anybody out there, parents and fans of the Grizzlies and the Apaches. Glad you're tuning in. Wish you were right here with us, but glad to have you. There's a base hit into left center. Dodd streaking to second, and she's in there with a double. Jasmine, good piece of hitting by Jasmine. She went with the pitch inside out and went to left center.
Now batting with runner scoring position, no outs. Number 2, Brecklin Dennis.
And here's Brecklin Dennis, the third baseman. So Dodd leads off for the Apaches with a ringing double into the gap in left center, and here's Brecklin Dennis. Brecklin tries to hold up, but fouls it off, and it's 0-1. Again, we're just getting started here. We're in the bottom of the first. No score yet. Dennis, a sophomore from Cypress, Texas. There's a little roller to first, who can't handle the play, and Jasmine Dodd streaks home, and she will score the first Apache run. So probably will go as an error on the first baseman.
Now batting with runner at first and no outs. Number 7, Tangela Smith.
Here's Tangela Smith, the center fielder. Ball inside and into the dirt. Catcher blocks it, prevents Dennis from advancing a base. Tangela Smith's a sophomore from Killeen, Texas. Was a first-team All-American last year. There's a long drive out to center field. It might be out of here. It could be. It is. Tangela Smith has blasted one over the center field wall. What a blast by Tangela Smith. She's had a little bit of a slow start this spring, but she's been picking up the pace of late, and there's evidence of it right there. Tremendous blast over the center field wall. And the Apaches go up 3-0.
Now batting with no outs. Number 20, Bailey Krolchek.
Here's the first baseman, freshman Bailey Krolchek from Corpus Christi. She smashes to the third baseman, who knocks it down, picks it up, throws her out. Nice play by the third baseman, Jaden Blaze Redis.
Now batting with 1 out. Number 14,
That ball was
Maddie
scalded,
Hale.
but Redis hung in there and knocked it down and recovered and made the play. Here's the right fielder, freshman Maddie Hale. Her first appearance in this game, of course.
It's a big strike like this. No.
Yeah, I have a little trouble, Pete, an old baseball guy, with these little slower calls behind the plate, figuring out whether they're a ball or strike. But
Yep. Well, in the words of the great John Grove,
Be-
Mrs. Umpires have no clue.
it's 1-1 on Maddie Hale. She takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike, and she's down in the count 1-2. Kelsey Kipps in the circle for the Grizzlies.
Gosh, that was close.
It's 2-2. There's one down. The Apaches have scored 3 runs. It's a ground ball to the shortstop. It takes a little hop and bounces up, and Matty Hale's going to be safe at first.
I think I took a bad hop.
Looked like a bad hop, but
Now batting with a runner at first and 1 out. Number 18, Allie Kim.
After all, I am a homer.
and here's Allie Kim.
She crushed them.
She had a homer in the first game. 2 home runs. Exactly. She had 2 home runs. She's the designated player. Matty Hale's now at first with 1 out. The pitch. A little inside. We're in the first. Apaches have scored 3. It's on a long home run by the center fielder Tangela Smith. Next pitch is in there for a strike. A little bit inside.
That looks like the same spot on this thing.
3-1 looks like the count. 3-1 on Allie Kim, the Colorado native. Swings. Looks like a drop ball.
She'll get a hold of this one. She'll jack this one.
There's a base hit to center field, and Allie Kim keeps her hot hitting alive with a solid base hit up the middle. Matty Hale moves to second. Kim is at first.
Now batting with a runner at first and second, 1 out. Number 24, Kendall Hernandez.
And here is Kendall Hernandez, the shortstop. There's a ground ball headed for center, and it's through there. Matty Hale's going to try to score. Looks like she's going to. The ball gets away from the catcher on the throw, and Allie Kim comes in. Kendall Hernandez winds up at third. So a little bit of a sloppy play on the throw in there, and
Now batting,
the Grizzlies.
scoring position, 1 out. Number 10, Sloan Johnson.
And here's Sloan Johnson. The second baseman will be the batter.
How come nothing came up on the visitor?
The Apaches now have taken a 5-0 lead. We're ready to go. And here's Sloan Johnson, the sophomore second baseman from Lampasas, Texas. Kipps fires, and it's a little bit high for ball 1. We've got a runner at third. That's Kendall Hernandez. Next pitch is a little bit high, and the count goes 2-0. Sloan Johnson slams one to center. The center fielder was playing her just about right and came in a couple of steps and made the play that wasn't deep enough for Kendall Hernandez to score.
Destiny Dixon.
So here's Destiny Dixon, the 9th batter. second.
Yeah, well, we'll get it.
There's a pitch to Destiny Dixon. Destiny is a Bullard native. Played at Bullard High School. Two balls and a strike to Destiny Dixon. Kendall Hernandez there's a line shot to the third baseman who made a great play. And that's the third out of the inning, but the Apaches do some real damage. They score 5 runs here in the first inning on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Looks like 5 runs, 4 hits for the Apaches. And at the end of 1, the Tyler Junior College Apaches lead the Butler Community College Grizzlies 5-0. Be back shortly. We're back at Schwab Field in Bullard for the second inning. Dakota Stoughton is in the circle for the Apaches. She pitched a 1-2-3 perfect first inning. And she faces Talia Talley. Throws a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Talia Talley is the left fielder. There's a little ground ball to third. Brecklin Dennis is up with it. Fires to Krolchek at first. And there's one down here in the second.
Number 33, Asia Henry.
That'll bring up Asia Henry, the catcher. Asia's sophomore from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Stoughton gets ahead of her, 0-1. A little bit inside, evens the count at 1-1. There's one down. We're in the second, and the Apaches have taken a quick, early 5-0 lead over the Grizzlies. Dakota Stoughton fires. I believe maybe it was tipped. Nonetheless, it was strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes.
She carried the ball.
A change-up that just missed, just a little bit high. Nice pitch by Stoughton, but just a bit high. So the count evens at 2-2 to Asia Henry. She fouls one off. The count remains 2-2. Asia Henry sticks her bat out and protects the plate, fouls it off, and stays alive. There's a little pop fly. Looks like Sloan Johnson's going to take care of it at second, and she does.
Number 44, Anna Eisenhower.
So Sloan Johnson takes care of the second out, and Dakota Stoughton has retired 5 in a row. Anna Eisenhower, the first baseman, steps in. Anna is from Yukon, Oklahoma. The pitch, a little bit low. A little cool out there, but no wind, and nice weather certainly for February. There's a curveball in there for a strike. So far, Dakota Stoughton has been throwing strikes and getting ahead of the hitters, and of course that is a real positive. There's a pop-up. Who's got it? Bailey Krolchek comes in, calls for the ball, and takes care of it. And another 1-2-3 inning for Dakota Stoughton. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. And at the end of an inning and a half, the Tyler Junior College Apaches lead the Butler Community College Grizzlies 5-0. Be back shortly. Dr. Johnson back with you as we go to the bottom of the second inning.
Number 3, Jasmine Dodd.
And it's the top of the order, Jasmine Dodd, to lead off for the Apaches. She led off the game with a double and later scored on a home run by Tangela Smith. Dodd, a sophomore left-handed swinger. Kipps looks in. High and inside for a ball. So the Apaches struck early, getting 4 hits, 5 runs that first inning, and they lead 5-0. There's a ground ball headed for the center, and it gets through there for another base hit for Jasmine Dodd. And she certainly is doing her job as the leadoff person. And And here's Brecklin Dennis, who got on an error her first time up. And she later scored on that Tangela Smith home run. So Dennis is at the plate. She hits one to center. It's pretty deep. They go back, and it's over the center fielder's head. And Brecklin Dennis is going to pull into second with a double. And Jasmine Dodd, of course, heads to third. So the Apaches have come out swinging.
Now batting with runners in scoring positions, no outs.
And here's Tangela Smith,
Tangela Smith,
who had a 3-run homer her first time up, and she's got people on again. On the corner for a strike. Tangela started the day batting .372. Tries to bunt, misses it for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes to Tangela Smith, the Apache center fielder. Big number 7 on her back. There's a ground ball to the shortstop. She goes to first for the out, but Jasmine Dodd scores. So that's a good at bat by Tangela Smith.
1 out. Number 20, Bailey Krolchek.
And also Brecklin Dennis moved up to third. So there's 1 out here in the second, a runner on third, and the Apaches have pushed across a run. Here's Bailey Krolchek, who grounded to third the first time on a good play by the Grizzlies third baseman Jadon Blaze Redis. The pitch to Krolchek. It's in there for a strike. It's a strike on the outside corner. So Krolchek is down in the count 1-2. There's 1 out, and we're in the bottom of the second. Krolchek hits a ground ball to the second baseman, who throws to first, but in the meantime, Brecklin Dennis is able to come in to score the second run of the inning, and a very productive at bat for Bailey Krolchek. She did her job and got that runner in. So the Apaches add to their lead, and now they lead 7-0. And here's the right fielder, Maddie Hale. Maddie was on an error her first time up. There's 2 outs. We're in the second. The Apaches have scored 2. A little bit of a change-up. Count is 2 balls and 1 strikes. The count on Maddie Hale. The pitch up a little bit, and the count goes to 3-1. Maddie Hale bats from the left side, wears number 14, the back of her gold and black uniform. A little bit outside, and Maddie Hale draws a walk. So the Apaches have another runner on with 2 down.
Now batting with runner first and 2 outs. Number 18, Allie Kim.
And here's Allie Kim, a designated player who singled her first time up in the first inning. A little low for ball 1. 1-0. There's a pitch a little bit outside, and so Allie Kim gets ahead. 2 balls and no strikes. Allie's a freshman, as I mentioned, from Castle Rock, Colorado. There's a strike. 2 balls and a strike. Allie Kim's your hitter. And the pitch. Taken for a ball, the throw to second. And on the throw, Maddie Hale is in there. It looked like the shortstop may have dropped the throw. Obstruction. Call of obstruction, but looks like Coach Chance wants to have a word with the umpire about the play. Doug Chance is the head coach of the Butler Grizzlies in his 16th season, a very successful coaching tenure at Butler, from El Dorado, Kansas. All right, Allie Kim's back in there.
3-1.
And Matty Hales at second. We've got 2 outs. Here's the pitch. It's down the middle for a strike, and the count goes full. 3-2.
Pressure.
Answer. Is that for me?
There's a ground ball to the third baseman who throws it into the dirt. It gets by the first baseman. It looks like Matty Hale had a notion to try to score, but the ball didn't get away far enough for her to do so, so she stops at third. That will be an error on the third baseman.
Now batting with runners in scoring positions. 2 outs. Number 24, Kendall Hernandez.
And here's Kendall Hernandez, who had a single her first time up. On that bad throw. There's a ground ball to the second baseman, who throws to first. And Kendall Hernandez is thrown out for the third out. So 2 more runs for the Apaches in the second. Hits by Dodd and Dennis. And at the end of 2 complete innings, the Tyler Junior College Apaches lead the Butler Grizzlies 7-0. Back in a moment. We've been joined in the booth by Assistant Athletic Director Kelsey Weeks, who says it's a lot warmer here in the booth than outside. We'll take her word for it. All right, we go to the top of the third, and Jaden Blaze Redis, the third baseman, will lead off for the Grizzlies. They trail 7-0 to the Apaches, and we're in top of the third. Dakota Stoughton on the mound for the Apaches has done a great job so far. She retired the order 1, 2, 3 in the first and did the same in the second. So Redis and Adler and Epsy will be the 3 hitters due up for the Grizzlies. Stoughton looks in to Destiny Dixon for the sign, and she throws a ball that's a little bit inside. So it's ball 1 on Jaden Blaze Redis, who's a freshman from Grove, Oklahoma. There's a fly ball out to deep right. It's off the top of the fence in right field. Matty Hale's scrambling to pick it up, and she throws in. Meantime, Redis pulls into second with a double, and the Grizzlies have their first base runner. And here's Sydney Adler. Sydney is the right fielder. She's a freshman from Derby, Kansas. Stoughton Throws outside. And the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes on Sidney Adler. Fouled off down the left field line. So it's 2-1. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. Grizzlies are hoping to fight back from a 7-0 deficit. Stoughton throws outside. So it's 3-1. Little outside, and Adler draws a base on balls.
Now batting with a runner at first and second, no outs. Number 5.
So the Grizzlies have started off with 2 base runners here in the 3rd inning. Here's Shayna Epsey, the center fielder. Stoughton throws a little bit outside. Dixon, the catcher, goes out to talk to Stoughton and slow her down a little bit and see if we can get her back on track here. She's had a little control problem here starting the 3rd. It's 1-1 now on Espy, and the pitch outside. So Espy is ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike, and the Grizzlies have runners on first and second and nobody out. There's a pitch just on the outside, so it's ball 3. Stoughton looks in for her sign. Stoughton was back to Stoughton, and she threw to 3rd, and it went over Brecklin Dennis's head. And so a run scores, and Epsy winds up at second, and Adler goes all the way to 3rd. So Stoughton got the ground ball that she was hoping for, but the throw to 3rd, rather, to try to catch the lead runner was wild. There's a line drive to center field. Tangela Smith over to get it for the out, but Adler is able to tag up and come in on the play. So the error on that wild throw to 3rd a while ago, the Grizzlies have taken advantage of it and have scored 2 runs and have cut the Apache lead 7-2. There's 1 out and a runner on second, and Maddie Young is at the plate. Maddie Young grounded 3rd to 1st, her first bat in the 1st inning. We're in the 3rd. Score 7-2 to Tyler. There's a fly ball deep out to left. Looks like Dodd's got room to make the catch, and she does. She throws into 3rd, keeps the runner at second.
Now batting with a runner in scoring position, 2 outs.
So Maddie Young flies out to Jasmine Dodd in left for the 2nd out, and that brings up Emily Adler, the second baseman, who struck out her first time up. So there's 2 outs, a runner on second. There's a pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Did I get? Okay. Well, your broadcaster got a little mixed up there too.
Take 'em. Take 'em.
I said no.
What is it?
This is Hannah Knox.
2-1.
Beg your pardon. This is Hannah Knox, the designated player, batting with a runner on second. There's a base hit to left field. Dodd fields it, throws it in. So Hannah Knox singles to left field.
Batting with runners at the corners and 2 outs. Number 24, Talia Tali.
Talia Talley there's a base hit to right field. A run's going to score. So Talley gets an RBI single to right. And the Grizzlies
Now
have
batting with
scored their
runners at first and second, 2 outs.
third run.
Number 33, Asia Henry.
There's 2 down. And Asia Henry is the hitter. Stoughton throws inside for a ball. Stoughton's been unable to stay ahead of hitters this inning like she was doing the first 2, but an error really hurt. It's 2 balls and no strikes. It's a strike on the corner. There's a little soft liner out to shortstop that Kendall Hernandez takes care of for the 3rd out. So that's the end of the 3rd. It's a productive inning for the Butler Grizzlies as they score 3 runs. At the end of 2.5 innings, your score is the Tyler Junior College Apaches 7 and the Butler Grizzlies 3.
Johnson.
All right, we go to the bottom of the 3rd with the Apaches holding a 7-3 lead now. Sloan Johnson will be the first hitter for the Apaches. Sloan's the Apaches' second baseman.
No, I just saw him down there somewhere. So he was.
Looks like we have a new pitcher. I think that's number 32. We'll see. 32 is Olivia Depew. She threw in the first game from Derby, Kansas. Here's a pitch to Sloan Johnson, who fouls it back. We're in the bottom of the third, and the score is Apaches 7 and Grizzlies 3. Depew to the windup. Here's the pitch. There's a little ground ball. Shortstop comes in, fires to first, and Johnson is out. A 6-3 put out.
Now batting with 1 out. Number 13, Destiny Dixon.
And here's the catcher, Destiny Dixon. Destiny hit a line drive to the third baseman first time. 32. Depew is a sophomore. Pitch caught the corner on the outsides of the plate, and the count evens at 1-1 to Destiny Dixon.
It's 0-2. What she just showed me.
There's a little tap toward the third baseman, who lets it roll foul. Wisely so. I don't think she could have thrown her out, so Destiny Dixon steps back in there. Depew pitches. There's a long drive out to left field. That might have the distance. It is. It's a home run. Destiny Dixon hits a line drive over the left center field wall. A real blast. And Dixon adds to the Apache lead, and they lead now 8-3. That ball didn't get very high, but it was out of here in a minute. Less than a minute, actually. A second or two.
Apaches with 1 out. Number 3, Jasmine Dodd.
Here's Jasmine Dodd, who is 2 for 2, the leadoff hitter. She takes a pitch, the outside corner, called a strike. Dodd is 2 for 2 and has scored 2 runs, so she's been perfect from her leadoff spots in this game. There's a foul off to the left, and we'll try to get the count here in just a moment. Eight to 3 is the score. Dodd back in there. There's a little ground ball. Depew spears it, fires to first. And for the first time this evening, Jasmine Dodd is retired 1-3.
Now batting with 2
So that's
outs.
2 down.
Number 2, Brecklin Dennis.
And here's the Apache third baseman, Brecklin Dennis, who was on an error and then doubled her last time up. She pops one into left field. The left fielder has plenty of room for it. She circles and grabs it. And that'll be the third out as Dennis flies out to the left fielder. So the Apaches score a run on 1 hit, a long home run by Destiny Dixon. And at the end of 3 innings of play,
Oh, we're at the top of the fourth.
I hadn't got there yet. Hold on.
the end of 3, it's the Apaches 8 and the Grizzlies 3.
So we're just now.
Huh?
You already did the fourth. We haven't played the fourth yet. Eisenhower.
We go to the 4th. Anna Eisenhower, the first baseman, will be the first hitter for the Grizzlies in the 4th. They trail the Apaches 8-3 as here in the top of the 4th. Dakota Stoughton, the sophomore from Colorado, Bennett, Colorado, is still on the mound for the Apaches. Eisenhower takes a ball.
Right, they scored 3 runs in the top of the third.
Yes, sir. And then we scored one in the bottom of the third.
Stoughton fires a strike. Eisenhower was off balance.
Scored.
Another swing and a miss.
So now we're on 0 outs. Count is 1 and 2.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's a bad thing with that scoreboard. You can't go back. You gotta go all the way.
It's 2 strikes and 1 ball from Eisenhower.
We love it.
Fantastic.
Ball low and gets past the catcher.
Thought about bringing
It's-
holy water up here.
It's 2 and 2.
Sprinkling that thing.
It's 2 and 2.
Who's it bad? What happened to Frank bad?
Still bad. That's your
Outside for ball 3, and the count goes full to Anna Eisenhower. Eisenhower's a sophomore from Yukon, Oklahoma. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Down low. So Eisenhower reaches first on a base on balls.
With a runner at first and no outs. Number 13, Jaden Blaze Redis.
Jaden Blaze Redis, the third baseman. Coach Chance is talking with the home plate umpire about some change here. We'll see. Probably a pinch runner at first. Substitute runner. Can't- We can't pick up that number yet to see who's the runner at first, but nonetheless, Redis at the plate, a runner at first. Here's a pitch. There's a strike on the outside corner. Stoughton hit that outside corner beautifully then. And there's a strike. No balls in a strike. There's another pitch. Appeal to the base umpire who said she went around enough for a strike, so Dakota Stoughton is ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. There's a little tap, foul ball down the first baseline. Redis just trying to guard the plate there and was successful in doing so. All right, Eisenhower is at first. There's a ground ball to shortstop who goes to second. That's the only play they could get, but it is an out at second from Hernandez to Sloan Johnson.
Number 9, Sydney Adler.
So 6-4 on that put out. And Redis reaches on a fielder's choice. And Sydney Adler comes to the plate. Adler walked her first time and later scored. So we've got 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. A runner on first for Butler. Foul down the left third baseline. The Apaches have out-hit the Grizzlies 7-3, and of course they're ahead in runs 8-3.
5-3.
Stoughton looks in for her sign. It's a ball and 2 strikes. She was trying to see if she could get Adler to go for a pitch that was out of the zone, but Adler held up. There's a line drive out into left field. It falls in for a base hit. Jasmine Dodd comes in, picks it up, gets it into the infield. And Sydney Adler.
Batting with a runner at first and second, 1 out. Number 5, Shayna Espy.
So we've got runners at first and second now for the Grizzlies. 1 down. Shayna Espy, the center fielder, is up. She reached on an error her first time up. There's a little tap out to left field.
Yes.
Jasmine Dodd comes in and makes a diving catch. A great catch by Jasmine Dodd.
First and second, 2 outs.
A big play for the Apaches. Dodd was playing her in a little bit, and she was able to reach that ball. And that's the second out, a big out there with 2 runners aboard. Here's the leadoff hitter, Maddie Young. Stoughton throws outside. There's 2 down here. Is our picture a little fuzzy now? There's a ball out to center field that gets past Tangela Smith, who retrieves it. 2 runs are going to score. And Maddie Young is going to wind up at second with a double. A 2-run double with 2 outs by Maddie Young, the shortstop of the Grizzlies.
Runner scoring position, 2 outs. Number 6, Emily Adler.
So that cuts the lead to 8-5. There's 2 outs. Dixon calls time and goes out again to have a little chat with Dakota Stoughton. Emily Adler is 0 for 2. She struck out in the first and she flew out in the third. But the Grizzlies have come back here and they've cut the lead. They've cut the Apache lead to 8-5. Stoughton into her windup. There's a base hit out to left field. Dodd throws to home. It's offline a little bit and the runner scores, but the throw to second is going to cut down Emily Adler at second, but the run scores. So that's the end of the top of the fourth, but the Butler Grizzlies are able to score 3 more runs and cut the Apache lead considerably to 8-6. So we go into the bottom of the fourth inning with the score: the Tyler Junior College Apaches 8 and the Butler Grizzlies 6. Be back in a moment. All right, fans, we go to the Apache fourth. Tangela Smith will lead off. She takes a strike. Olivia Depew is on the mound for the Grizzlies. Tangela hit a home run, a 3-run homer in the first, and she grounded out to short in the second.
What? No way.
Your score now is Tyler 8 and Butler 6. Way outside. Evens the count. I believe it's a ball and 2 strikes, I believe. Smith fights it off, fouls it over to the right to stay in there. The Apaches saw their lead cut in the top of this inning. They'd like to come back and score here to respond to that. There's a strike 3, a good pitch on the outside corner, tailing away from Smith, who took a good cut but failed to connect.
Now batting with 1 out, number 20, Bailey Krolchek.
And here's Bailey Krolchek, the first baseman. Bailey has grounded out twice tonight. She lines a base hit out into right center, and she's going to try for 2. She's going to make it.
Yeah.
Bailey Krolchek doubles out into right center, and she's aboard with 1 out here in the fourth.
Now batting with runners
And
scored,
Maddie Hale,
1 out.
the right fielder, is coming up.
Maddie Hale.
She got to first on an error in the first inning, and then she walked in the second. Takes a pitch a little high. Krolchek's at second. There's one down. The Apaches threatening here in the fourth. Apaches have scored in all 3 innings, 5 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the third. Hale bounces one down the right first baseline.
1-1.
Count goes to 1-1. The changeup, he was perhaps just a little bit high. It's called it a ball. It's 2-1. Maddie Hale's seeing if she can get this run in. There's another changeup. This one also a little bit high. It's 3-1 to Maddie Hale. Krolchek at second. A pitch caught the inside corner, and the count goes full to Maddie Hale. We're in the bottom of the fourth. These two highly ranked teams have been back and forth. The ball outside, and Maddie Hale walks for the second time. So the Apaches have 2 runners on.
First and second, 1 out. Number 18, Allie Kim.
And here's freshman Allie Kim stepping to the plate. She's the designated player, designated hitter. There's a pitch that catches the outside corner for a strike. Kim singled in the first inning and scored, and then she got on an error in the second. There's a ground ball headed up the middle. It's a base hit. The runners are going to stop at the bases. So the Apaches are going to have the bases loaded. A ground ball single up the middle by Allie Kim.
Batting with the bases loaded, 1 out. Number 24, Kendall Hernandez.
And here's Kendall Hernandez, who has a single and a ground out in 2 appearances. And she's looking to do some damage to widen this lead a little bit. There's a ground ball, just foul. It's a break for the Apaches there. That ball a foot the other way, and it's a fair ball, and the third baseman can step on third and maybe get a double play, but it was foul. Lady Luck goes Apache way this time. Hernandez is in there. There's a ground ball to the second baseman, who flips to the shortstop for 1, who throws to first for the double play, and the Grizzlies have dodged trouble here with a neat double play. Second to short to first. And so in the bottom of the fourth, the Apaches failed to score, and the score remains Apaches 8 and the Grizzlies 6.
That's 4-6-3 if you're scoring.
4-6-3, Pete reminds us, if we're scoring at home. Dr. Charles Johnson back with you. If we go to the top of the fifth, the Apaches have a new pitcher in the circle, freshman Grayson Long. Grayson is from Livingston, Texas. Hannah Knox will lead off for the Grizzlies here in the top of the fifth. They trail by 2, 8-6 to the Apaches. So Dakota Stoughton went 4 innings, gave up 6 hits, 6 runs, 3 earned runs, 2 bases on balls, and 2 strikeouts. Stoughton hurt her own cause a little bit when she got in a hurry and overthrew Brecklin Dennis at third earlier on, which opened the doors for some Grizzly runs, but she did a good job overall. Hannah Knox, the Texas native from Lindale. So it's 2 balls and a strike on Hannah Knox, who has struck out and singled. There's a pitch called a strike. So Grayson Long has evened the count 2-2. We're in the top of the 5th inning. No outs. Apaches leading 8-6. Long fires. There's a long drive. This is going to be way out of here. Hannah Knox hits one up past the trees over in the left center. And now the Grizzlies are within 1 run of the Apaches. That was a long blast far out of here. So the Lindale native has brought the Grizzlies within 1 run of the Apaches. And it's 8-7 Apaches.
Now batting for the Grizzlies, number 24,
Talia Talley, the left fielder, is up now. She has a single and 2 trips to the plate. Grayson Long looks in for her sign. Fires a strike on the outside corner. We've got a 1-run ball game now. It's tightened up. The Apaches had an early 7-0 lead, but the Grizzlies have come back to get within 1 run. We're in the 5th. Still plenty of ball game left. Grayson Long fires a changeup. She fouled it off, evidently, so it's a ball and 2 strikes.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
1-2. Talia Talley. The pitch in the dirt. 2-2 now. Tally. Grayson Long looks in for her sign, and she has it. Throws a little bit outside and low, and the count goes full on Tally. Tally is a sophomore, left-handed hitter. She fouls it back, and she stays alive, and the count remains full. The Apaches have out-hit Butler tonight so far, 9-7, but they only lead by 1 run now. Here's the pitch. There's a ground ball headed to short. Hernandez up with it. Fires Krolchek at first. And that's your first out of the inning, 6-3.
Now batting with 1 out. Number 33, Asia Henry.
Here's Asia Henry. She's the catcher. And she is 0 for 2 so far tonight. Grayson Long fires and Henry fouls it back. So this inning started with a tremendously long home run by Hannah Knox, the Lindale native.
That's the longest one I've ever seen.
It was a blast for sure.
She got it all.
She, as Mr. Mendola says, she got it all, and indeed she did. So there's one down, and there's 2 strikes on Asia Henry, as Grayson Long has come back now after the homer to retire Tally, and now she's ahead 0-2 on Henry.
He said you gave it to him. So they didn't criticize anymore.
I give him love all the time.
1-2 on Henry. Grayson Long in, looks for a sign. She throws a changeup, called a strike. She went around enough to be called out, and that's a strikeout for Grayson Long and the second out of the inning.
Now batting with 2 outs.
And here's Anna Eisenhower.
Anna Eisenhower.
Eisenhower, the first baseman, has popped to the first baseman and walked. Grayson Long gets ahead in the count, 0-1. Pitch a little bit outside, evens it up, 1-1. Again, we're in the 5th, a tight ball game with the Apaches leading 8-7. There's a strike on the inside corner, a very nice pitch from Long. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Long pitches. A change-up that just was a fraction off the plate. So it's 2-2. Eisenhower's your batter. Here's the pitch. Little outside, ball 3, and the count goes full. Eisenhower's a sophomore from, as I think I mentioned earlier, Yukon, Oklahoma. Here's the pitch. Fouled off to the right, and the count stays full. Mr. Mendolia is passing on some wisdom about Yukon, Oklahoma that perhaps is correct. Well, it sounds good. There's a pitch inside, and Eisenhower draws a walk.
Now batting with a runner at first and 2 outs. Number 13.
So that with 2 out,
Blaze.
Eisenhower is on at first, and here's Jaden Blaze Redis.
I can see your reflection.
Pitch in there for a strike. Redis is 1 for 2 tonight and has scored 2 runs. There's a pitch upstairs. The count goes to 0-2. Long looks in for a sign, delivers, swing and a miss. So it's 1-2. Long gets ahead in the count to Redis. We've got a runner on first. 1 run in earlier this inning on the leadoff hitter, Hannah Knox, who hit a long home run. There's a changeup that completely fools Redis, who swings, doesn't connect, and a strikeout for the 3rd out. And we're through with the top of the 5th. But the Grizzlies got a little closer with that home run by Knox, and the Apaches now lead 8-7, headed into the bottom of the 5th. Be back in a minute. It's Dr. Charles Johnson. Dr. J back with you as we go to the bottom of the 5th.
Number 10, Sloan.
And in to pitch for the Butler Grizzlies, it's number 14, Hannah Knox, a freshman from Lindale. Sloan Johnson, the second baseman, steps in for the Apaches. They cling to a slim 1-run lead here. They'd like to try to extend that lead a bit. It's pretty precarious at this point. Ball is up a little bit for ball 2 to Sloan Johnson, who is 0 for 2. She takes a pitch that's called a strike. It's 2 balls and a strike now on Johnson. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Good fastball. So it's 2-2 on the leadoff hitter for the Apache, Sloan Johnson, the second baseman. There's a little ground ball stabbed by the second baseman over to first, and Sloan Johnson is retired 4-3. Nice play by Emily Adler, the second baseman, who
Dixon
reached out and grabbed it before it could get through. So there's 1 down, and Destiny Dixon steps in. Destiny homered her last time up, and she lined out to the third baseman her first time up. She's hit the ball very hard twice tonight. Takes a ball inside. We're in the 5th. Dixon takes a pitch right down the heart of the plate to even the count at 1-1. There's 1 out. 1-1 won the count on the catcher for the Apaches, Dixon. Pitch. She takes a swing and fouls it off over to the right, out beyond the first base dugout of the Grizzlies. So she's down in the count now, a ball and 2 strikes. A pitch inside that she fouls down the left field line. So it's a ball and 2 strikes. Takes one down a bit, and it's 2-2. Coach Eric Henderson coaching down at third, and Courtney Campbell got the duties down the first base line for the Apaches. Here's a 2-2 pitch coming to Dixon. It's outside, and the count goes 3-2. Knox looks in for her sign. Swing and a miss, and Destiny Dixon goes down swinging. Good pitch that seemed to drop out of the zone.
For the Apaches with 2 outs. Number 3, Jasmine Dodd.
And here's number 3, Jasmine Dodd, the left fielder for the Apaches, who's got 2 hits tonight, a single and a double, and scored 2 runs. Takes the first pitch down a little bit. The Apaches scored 5 in the first. They got 2 in the second and 1 in the third, and they have not scored since that time. The Grizzlies scored 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and 1 in the fifth. Knox looks in for her sign, and she delivers. There's a foul ball down the third baseline to Jasmine Dodd, the left fielder of the TJC Apaches. Dodd back in there, ready to go. 2-1. The pitch. There's a little ground ball, dribble up to the second baseman who throws, and Dodd is able to beat it out. It was a slow hit ball past the pitcher. Second baseman came in, flipped to first, but Dodd, who has good speed, was able to beat it out.
Now batting with runner first and
So that's
2 outs.
Jasmine Dodd's
Number 2, Brecklin Dennis.
third hit of the night. Well, up steps Brecklin Dennis, who's 1 for 3 and scored 2 runs. In the dirt for ball 1. We're playing on natural grass and dirt here at Schwab Field, the Brook Hill School. Dennis fouls it back. The catcher makes a play for it, but it's out of her reach, so the count goes to 1-1. It's 1-1 to the left-handed hitting Brecklin Dennis, the sophomore from Cypress, Texas. Takes a pitch, Dodd goes for second and is in there with a stolen base. And there's a runner now for the Apaches in scoring position. And they would dearly love to add a run here to give just a little bit of space. They're only leading by 1 run, 8-7 at this point. It's 2-1 on Brecklin Dennis. She swings and a misses. Hannah Knox took a little off that pitch, and Brecklin was a little bit out in front. So it's 2-2. Jasmine Dodd at second. There's a long drive to right field. This might be out of here. It could be. It is a home run. Brecklin Dennis hit a long, deep fly to right field. And Brecklin Dennis comes through with a long home run to right field just at a time that the Apaches needed a base hit. She comes through. So the Apaches stretch their lead now to 10-7.
Now batting with 2 outs. Number 7, Tangela
Brecklin
Smith.
Dennis is a clutch hitter, judging by her performance in her freshman year last year. She came through there for the Apaches. And here's Tangela Smith, who homered, grounded out, and struck out in her 3 appearances. She hit a 3-run homer in the first to get the Apaches on the board. So a 2-run home run by Brecklin Dennis with 2 out here in the bottom of the 5th. And the Apaches have stretched their lead to 10-7. Pitch to Smith. It's up high. There's 2 down. We're in the 5th. Long way to go yet. Up high again. As we said Hannah Knox is from Lindale, Texas, and last year in high school she was a teammate of the Apaches, Jody DeHart. It's 3-1 to Smith, the left fielder. Knox delivers. Swing and a miss. Good pitch on the outside corner with seemed to rise a little bit. Smith couldn't connect.
Just like being an all-buffet.
The count is full. Smith hits one down the right field line. The right fielder over and can't reach it. It's in foul territory, and she couldn't quite reach it. Made a good effort to catch it, but couldn't quite get there in time. So Tangela Smith stays alive with a full count with 2 outs. Got a wild one here, 10-7. Foul back. Tangela Smith stays alive. Payoff pitch is coming. It's outside. And Tangela Smith is able to draw a walk here and keep the inning alive for the Apaches.
Now batting for the
And here's Bailey Krolchek, the first baseman, who doubled her last time up, and she grounded out both of her previous times to the plate, but hit that double in the fourth inning. And here she is in the fifth with a runner on. There's a strike on the corner. It's 0-1 to Bailey Krolchek. She hits the ball out to right field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Tangela Smith's going to go to third, and Bailey Krolchek hit a little inside out drive out to right field. It fell in there for a base hit.
Now batting with runners at the corners and 2 outs. Number 14, Maddie Hale.
And here's Maddie Hale, the right fielder, who can do some damage here. Maddie has walked twice and been on, scored an error in the first inning. So the Apaches trying to do some more damage here with 2 outs. Ooh, inside. Hale ducks out of the way of it. Tangela Smith's at third, and Bailey Krolchek is at first. I'm having a little conversation with the pitcher. Knox looks in for her sign into the delivery. Ball was down a little bit low, so it's 2 balls and no strikes on the right fielder, the Apache right fielder, Maddie Hale. There's a pitch taken inside, so the count goes to 3-0 on Maddie Hale. We'll see whether she's got the hit, the go-ahead to hit. She takes one that's down the middle for a strike, so it's 3-1 on Maddie Hale. Bailey Krolchek looking over to Coach Eric Henderson to get assigned, as she is at first. There's another strike down the middle to Maddie Hale.
Everybody ought to be moving on this play.
3-2. Krolchek will be in motion. There's a fly ball out to the left field. The left fielder camps under it now and has it for the third out. So Maddie Hale flies out to left field for the third out. And the Apaches score 2 runs. They leave 2 runners on, but they do score 2 on a long home run by the Apache third baseman Brecklin Dennis. So at the end of 5 innings, the Tyler Junior College Apaches lead the Butler Grizzlies 10-7. Be back in a few moments. All right, we're back with you in the top of the 6th inning. Adler, Espy, and Young will be up 8, 9, and 1 for the Grizzlies here in the 6th, and the Apaches hold a 10-7 lead. Grayson Long is back out on the circle for the Apaches. First pitch is down low for a ball. Adler takes a cut at it, misses. Adler has walked and scored and then singled and later scored, so she scored 2 runs in this ball game. Foul back to the screen. The count evens at 2-2. It's Dennis at third, Hernandez at short, Sloan Johnson at second, and Bailey Krolchek at first for the Apaches. There's a changeup. Missed a bit low. And the count goes full to the leadoff hitter for the Grizzlies, Sidney Adler. Here's a pitch. Foul back. She stays alive. The Grizzlies have 7 runs on 7 hits. The Apaches have 10 runs on 12 hits so far. Grayson Long steps off mound a bit, and now she's back in the circle ready to go. Ball was a little bit low.
Now batting with runner on first.
So Adler is on first with a leadoff walk.
Shayna Espy.
And here's Shayna Espy. She's reached on an error and scored and lined out to Jasmine Dodd in left field. There's a little pop down the third base line. Brecklin Dennis goes over and makes a running catch, a very nice play by Dennis. She hustled down the line and over her shoulder made a catch over her shoulder for the out. Nice play by Brecklin Dennis. And that's the first out here in the 6th. Inside for a ball. Adler's at first with 1 down. Maddie Young at the plate. Maddie Young has grounded out, flown out, and a double in the 4th, and she scored. 1-1 to count on Young, the shortstop. There's a strike. Grayson Long is trying to stay ahead of these hitters. These are 2 of the best hitting ball clubs in the country for sure. It's 1-2 on Maddie Young, the shortstop for the Butler Grizzlies. Here's the pitch. Foul straight back. Great. little let up, popped out to center field, and Tangela Smith takes care of it for the second out.
Now batting with a runner at
That was
first
an off-speed
and 2
pitch
outs.
by Grayson Long. It
Number 6,
had the batter off Young
Adler.
off balance a little bit, and she flew out to center for the second out. So we got a runner at first with 2 outs. Grayson Long fires a strike in there. High and tight for a ball. The count evens. There are 2 outs. A runner on first. Apaches leading 10-7, and we're in the 6th. We're getting late in the ball game. There's a pitch that was a little bit outside, evidently, but a good pitch nonetheless. 2-1 on Adler. There's a long drive out to left, but Jasmine Dodds under it, and she hauls it in for the 3rd out. So Grayson Long, after walking the first batter, retires the next 3 hitters in order, and for the first time in 4 innings, the Grizzlies do not score. No runs, and no hits, and a runner left. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and the Tyler Junior College Apaches hold a lead 10-7. Be back in a moment. Welcome back to Schwab Field. We go to the bottom of the 6th as the Apaches come up holding a 10-7 lead. Kim, Hernandez, and Johnson are scheduled to be the hitters for TJC. And here's Allie Kim, the designated player. Kim has a single, or 2 singles actually. Kim is 2 for 3, have scored a run. A pitch a little bit outside. The count goes 2-0 to the leadoff hitter for the Apaches here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Allie Kim. Here's the pitch to Kim. That's called a strike, and the count is 2-1 on the leadoff hitter, Allie Kim. Down low, and the count's 3-1. Kim looking to try to get on here to start something here in the 6th. Apaches, the way this game has gone, there's no lead safe evidently, so the Apaches would like to score 1 or 2 before they go to the 7th. There's a strike, and the count is full to Kim. Anna Knox looking in. She has her sign. There's a little foul ball down the first baseline. Kim was trying to protect the plate there, and she did so. Inside, ball 4. So Allie Kim starts off the Tyler 6th with a base on balls. And it looks like we're going to have a...
Now batting with a runner at first and no outs. Number 8, Jody DeHart.
Jody DeHart is going to bat for Hernandez. Jody DeHart, who had a big first game earlier today. So number 8, Jody DeHart. So it'll be Lindale against Lindale here. Anna Knox, the pitchers for the Grizzlies, hails from Lindale, as does Jody DeHart. The pitch up high. Allie Kim got good speed. She's at first. Drew a base on balls to start this 6th. There's a fly ball out to center field. Good swing, but got under it a little bit and flew out to Espy out in center field for the first out.
It's sounding good.
And
Now
that'll
batting with a runner at first and 1 out. Number 10, Sloan Johnson.
And here's Sloan Johnson, the second baseman. Sloan is 0 for 3 tonight. She may be due. Could very well be. Takes a good cut. Allie Kim steals second. The ball was in the dirt a little bit. The catcher picked it up, or dug it out of the dirt, threw to second, but it was not in time to catch Kim. So the Apaches have a runner in scoring position. Sloan Johnson swung at the pitch to give a little protection as Kim stole the base. The pitch is in there for a strike. Sloan Johnson's a sophomore from Lampasas, Texas. Ball outside, and it's 1-2 on Sloan Johnson. Looks like Blakely Niles is in the on deck circle, ready to hit next. Just outside. Correction. It was on the corner, and Sloan Johnson goes down for the second out. And batting for Destiny Dixon will be...
Batting for the Apaches with runner in scoring position, 2 outs. Number 21,
Blakely Niles is pinch hitting with 2 out and a runner in scoring position at second. Blakely Niles is a freshman from Conroe, Texas. Went to Caney Creek High School. So the Apaches would dearly love to get a 2-out hit here to score a run. Niles takes one up high. Allie Kim is the runner at second. We've got 2 down, and we're in the 6th. Knox looks in. There's a ground ball knocked down by the pitcher. Second baseman picks it up and just nips her at first. Close play. A nice recovery by the second baseman who threw to first. The ball was hit off the pitcher's glove and it bounced towards second. And Emily Adler came in and fielded it and flipped to first for the final out. And so the Apaches do not score here in the sixth. They leave a runner on. So at the end of six, we go to the seventh. The Tyler Junior College Apaches lead the Grizzlies 10-7. Back in a moment. Dr. Charles Johnson back with you. As we go to the seventh, Grayson Long will be out there trying to get 3 outs and preserve this 10-7 lead for the Apaches. She's going to have the heart of the Grizzly lineup. Knox, Talley, and Henry coming up. The number 3, 4, and 5 hitters. And the Apaches lead 10-7. Blakely Niles has come in to catch. Krolchek is still at first. Sloan Johnson at second. Hernandez at short. Brecklin Dennis at third. Dodd, Smith, and Matty Hale in the Apache outfield. It's 2 balls and no strikes to the leadoff hitter, Knox. There's a strike. Knox is 2 for 3 tonight. She struck out the first time up, but then she singled in the third and she hit a long home run in the fifth. Grayson Long has her sign. Throws and just a little bit outside, so a 3-1 count to Knox, who's trying to get on here to start the seventh for the Grizzlies. Their last chance, unless they can at least tie it up. 3-1 pitch. There's a little ground ball to Brecklin Dennis at third. She comes over, fires to Bailey Krolchek for the out. And there's one down here in the seventh.
Number 24,
Talia Talley. It's up for the Grizzlies. She's 1 for 3 tonight with an RBI. Long's pitch. There's a strike. And Long gets ahead of Talley. A little bit outside, evens the count at 1-1. Leah Talley is 0 for 2 tonight. Foul down the left field line, out of the reach of the Apache shortstop and Jasmine Dodd. Make that a correction. Tally is 1 for 3 tonight. She's single in the third. Has an RBI. So she's down in the count 1 and 2. 1 out here in the seventh. Grayson Long tries to hit that outside corner, just misses it.
Not big difference.
2 and 2 the count. A let up, or change up rather. And the count goes full. So Grayson Long does not want to put anybody on with any kind of free pass here with a lead. There's a ground ball. Hernandez to short, over to first for the second out. So the Grizzlies are down to their last out. Asia Henry, the catcher, she's 0 for 3 tonight. And she's looking to try to keep the Grizzlies alive as the Apaches hold a 10-7 lead. Down low for ball 2. So it's 2 balls on Asia Henry as she, as I say, tries to keep the Grizzly hopes alive. She fouls one off to the right. The count goes to 2 balls and a strike. We're 2 outs. We're in the seventh. The Apaches holding a 10-7 lead over the Butler Grizzlies. The pitch down low. So Henry's ahead in the count now. 3 balls and 1 strike on her. And Grayson Long wants to come back and not put anybody on with any free pass. The pitch. And that's what happens. The ball's a little low. And so Asia Henry keeps the Grizzlies alive with a base. Anna Eisenhower, the first baseman, has walked twice, popped out to the first baseman, and she comes up with 2 outs here in the seventh. Blakely Niles goes out and says a couple of words, encourages Grayson Long to try to get this third out. Pitch is on the inside for a ball. A ball and no strikes on Anna Eisenhower. The pitch is down low, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Last thing Grayson Long wants to do is to give a free pass and bring up the tying run to the plate. Here's the pitch. Inside, gets away from the catcher, and Asia Henry moves to second. Grayson Long looks into Niles for the sign, and she has it. And the ball is down low, and Eisenhower walks, and that puts runners on first and second with 2 outs. And here's Jaden Blaze Redis, who is 1 for 3. She doubled.
Single and struck out.
Coach Coach Eric Henderson calls time and goes out to have a word with his freshman right-hander. A little encouragement. Try to get this last out. But the Grizzlies have the tying run at the plate now. And that's what they had hoped to do, is to give themselves a chance to bring that tying run to the plate. Pitch down low a little for a ball. One ball and no strikes. Coming down to the finish line here. There's a strike on the outside corner, and Long evens the count up at 1-1 on Redis. There's runners at first and second. There's 2 down. The Apaches clinging to a 3-run lead. There's a pitch just inside. So it's 2 balls and a strike. Redis trying to keep the Grizzlies' hopes alive, and Apaches hoping to get this final out. There's a pitch down low, and it goes to 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Foul back. So it's 3-2 now. The runners will be going. 2 outs, and it's getting a bit tense here in this 7th inning. So Grayson Long hoping to make a good pitch here on a 3-2 count. Fouled off. She made a good pitch, but Redis fouled it off down the right field line to hang in there. Henry's at second, Eisenhower's at first. They'll be moving on the pitch. Grayson Long has her sign into the fouled again. Redis is hanging tough.
3 balls, 4 strikes.
Jaden Blaze Redis. Here's the pitch.
Oh.
Down just a bit. Close pitch, but called a ball.
Now batting with the bases loaded.
So it's come down.
Number 9, Sydney Adler.
Sydney Adler. Adler.
Was that pitch low? Was it?
The bases are loaded now here in the 7th.
Was that a ball?
Up high for a ball.
There was a little.
The tying runs are on base, but they're 2 outs. Grace Long and Adler swing and a miss on a pitch that caught the outside corner of the plate.
You know, if I wanted somebody to be back there.
Adler has walked twice and singled. She's been on all 3 times. Here's the pitch. Foul back. So Grayson Long gets ahead. A ball and 2 strikes. And now Adler will be looking to protect the plate. This has come down to kind of a tense ending here. There's a fly ball out to left. Looks like Jasmine Dodd drops it. She throws to third and gets the runner going into third.
How many they scored? 2?
They scored 2 on the play.
Final score of the last game today.
That was
Tyler
a
Jr.
fly ball out
10,
to Dodd in left
Butler
field,
Community College, 9.
who momentarily had it, but then she dropped the ball,
At 2:30 p.m. when they take
which
on
allowed
Howard College.
2 runs to score.
Please drive
But
carefully
Redis,
on your way home.
trying to make it to
Good
third,
night and go
was thrown out.
Apaches.
Was thrown out from Dodd to Brecklin Dennis. A play, kind of a weird play to end it all, but it is ended. And so the Apaches hang on,
I'll see you tomorrow night. I'll be here earlier.
hang on for a 10-9 victory here at Schwab Field. What a game, a wild game. 10-9 victory for the Apaches. Well, we'll try to take a look at the totals here in just a moment. The Apaches got off to an early lead, a 7-0 lead, but the Grizzlies fought back with 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. Apaches scored 2 in the fifth, and now the Grizzlies have come back with 2 in the seventh, but the Apaches hang on for a victory in a wild and woolly game here at Schwab Field in Bullard, Texas. The Apaches will be in action again tomorrow at game scheduled for 2:30, and then they'll play again tomorrow evening at 7, and we'll try to have those games for you. We appreciate everyone tuning in, and again, this is Dr. Charles Johnson signing off now as the Tyler Junior College Apaches held on and defeated the Butler Grizzlies by a score of 10-9. Good evening, everyone.